Ladies and gentlemen, the picture you're looking at is Daniel Prude and his brother holding up his picture. I believe, um, those two were not, from what I can't recall the ages right now, but they're not that far apart in age, him and his brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Attorney General of New York, since the death of Daniel Prude, announced some new police body cam policy. And see, this is exactly what we don't need. And this is what I get sick of. Every time an unarmed person is killed, they come back with these do nothing solutions. And what I mean is these policy changes and police reform, and we're going to give everybody a body cam, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Those things don't save not one life in the Black community. How many times have we heard over the years they're going to change policies? They're going to do this. They're going to make sure everybody out there got a body cam on. They're going to make sure this is done. And it never stopped the shootings of unarmed Black men and women and children. Not once. I don't care what policy she puts in place for a body cam. Those are not the things that need to be done. But at this point, we should all see they don't want to do anything about the shootings. It don't take this long to see a solution. It is very obvious they don't want to do nothing about it. They don't see it as wrong. So if they really wanted to do something, the first step would be getting rid of qualified immunity. Holding cops accountable for killing unarmed people that were never a threat to them. Charging and convicting those officers that wrongly kill people that were never a threat. Anything short of that, this is not a solution that's going to stop the shootings in the Black community. I mean, I don't care what policy she came up with. This is not the answer. And, they give us these non-solutions. That's all these are. That's what I call it, a non-solution solution. It's just a bunch of word salad. And at the end of the day, it's not going to save one life. But I guess you got to make it look like you're doing something when you're doing absolutely nothing at all. So this is Fox News, September 21st, 2020. Daniel Prude death prompts the New York Attorney General to announce new police body cam policy. First of all, we did not even find out about Daniel Prude until 5 months after he died, after he was murdered. But now these same people want us to have confidence in them, and we have no confidence in them at all because they have sat in their positions and have the power to do something and refuse to do it. I think it's time to see this for what it is. They don't want to save the Black community from getting shot unarmed by police in this country. They are content. They don't see this as wrong. They think that is justified. Even if we're unarmed, the shooting is always justified because by default, Black people, in their minds, we deserve it. That's pure evil. Anybody that opens their mouth and say you deserve to die when you've done absolutely nothing to a police officer, that person is pure evil. New York Attorney General Letitia James announced Sunday that her office will proactively release police body cam footage in light of the Daniel Prude's fatal encounter with Rochester police officers and the subsequent protests that broke out more than 5 months later when the video of the incident was finally made public. Now, if you remember, his family made it public on social media. Speaking in Rochester, James announced a new policy that her office will proactively release footage to the public on our own as part of investigations into police involved civilian deaths. Now, I can tell you, they're going to release those um, body cam videos and still find these officers not guilty. It ain't going to make no difference. Previously, local authorities had the discretion to determine when the video would be made available. Up until now, the release of footage has been up to the discretion of local authorities. And this goes back to what I said in one of my videos, that, you know, a lot of people say, okay, well, if you don't vote, vote locally because you got more power locally. Not really. Remember, most of these unarmed police shootings are happening on the local level. Never forget that. No, local politics is, to me, is probably more corrupt than national politics, because look, this is happening locally. Daniel Prude got killed by the local police in his area. It was the local police that did that. So don't ever think, oh, well, you know, it's better locally. No, it isn't. It's more deadlier locally. Think about what you're saying. It's deadlier locally. These shootings are not happening on a national level. They're happening locally where you live by local police officers. Okay, let's move on. Okay. All right. So what they're saying is, you know, it has caused a lot of confusions when there's delays and there's a lack of transparency in the system. And Letitia James is trying to fix that, where when these shootings happen, the body cams are released for public view a lot more immediately. So it's going to be more immediate. The Office of the Attorney General will proactively release video footage to the public on our own. And she also sent a tweet out over this. You know, this really ain't going to add up to, you know, this just makes me angry, because at the end of the day, we know this ain't going to resolve a damn thing when it comes down to the police shootings in the community. This ain't going to resolve anything. It really isn't. And that's what burns me up about this whole thing. Okay, we will be doing this with an eye to making the footage available to the public as quickly as possible, publicizing the footage as soon as possible. We have shown it to the deceased family, she said, explaining that her office obtains footage as part of investigations conducted by our special prosecution unit. It was unclear how many cases would be affected by the policy, since the Attorney General's office does not review all footage of police interactions with the public. James spoke to Rochester after meeting with the family members of Prude 41, Black man who was found running naked in the street around 3 a.m. on March 23rd. Officers put a hood over his head to stop him from spitting, then held him down for about 2 minutes until he stopped breathing. He died a week later when he was taken off life support. Ladies and gentlemen, he died on the same day Breonna Taylor did. Prude's death sparked nightly protests after his relatives released a police body cam video. Yes, they released it on Facebook. And that's how we all came to know about Daniel Prude and the mental illness that he had. And that was documented. You know, if somebody would have just done their job on the scene, you would have realized this was a mentally ill person and there was a problem going on. And if you remember, his brother said he was very upset that the hospital released him and gave him no medication. They just sent him back home, and he was having problems that whole day. He said he saw that he was acting very strangely. So the hospital definitely contributed in his death as well, as far as I'm concerned, because they did not properly treat him. And there was a previous record. His mental illness went back many years. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Do you this ain't going to make no difference. This is just so frustrating. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.